actually have Herzl.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date that will live in infamy. Before I go on, here are my sources I used: Wikipedia.com, Google Images, History.com, Encyclomedia.com, Quotationspage.com, and an interview by Jamie Bisbena. Hi, my name is Tyler Krebs, and I'll be talking about the historical events of the U.S. dropping 2 bombs on the islands of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan. I'll be talking about why they were dropped, why the President ordered them to be dropped, and the effects they had on the island of Japan. The quote that I started off with is what President Franklin Delano Roosevelt started his speech off after the Japanese Navy attacked our naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. It was an unprovoked attack which led us into World War II. At the end of World War II, as history tells us, we dropped 2 atomic bombs, one on the Japanese island of Hiroshima, the other on the island of Nagasaki. They were both devastating. The reason why people asked after we dropped the bombs, why we dropped the bombs. Well, Pearl Harbor is one of those examples. At Pearl Harbor, they sunk 9 of our ships, damaged 21, and also killed many Americans. Also, some men were trapped on the USS Arizona. To be exact, was 1,177 men that were trapped on USS Arizona as it sank to the bottom of the ocean floor. A death toll that was taken after the battle showed that 2,350 men were dead on the unprovoked attack. Near the end of World War II, Franklin Delano Roosevelt dies of a stroke. The Vice President, President Harry Truman, becomes President of the United States. He also finds out about the Manhattan Project that Franklin Delano Roosevelt asked several scientists to start on at the beginning of World War II, when he received a letter from a very well-known scientist saying that the Germans had a new weapon. History tells us that these 2 bombs were ready and were used, and people asked President Truman after they were dropped, why? One of the reasons why was because Japan would never surrender. Even after we had dealt a devastating blow on their navy and we were starting to attack their homeland, they showed that they would not surrender due to the kamikaze pilots that filled their planes with explosives. Another reason why is because if we did not drop the bombs, we had planned a land-based attack to invade the island of Japan, which thousands of American lives would have been killed. I was talking to my friend Jamie about this and asked what her opinion was, that if she thought that dropping the bombs was necessary. She said yes. She said yes, if we didn't drop the bombs, the war would have gone on longer than it did and more people would have died. So on August 6th, we dropped the bomb Little Boy on the island of Hiroshima, killing thousands of Japanese civilians and military people. Japan still would not surrender. So on August 9th, we dropped the last atomic bomb, Fat Man, on Nagasaki and crippled Japan and made them surrender. We sent soldiers in to help after we had dropped the bombs. But what they saw, they never thought they would see, for it was too devastating. The bombs killed thousands, and the ones that didn't die, they were wounded or blinded. Also, as you can see in this picture of this woman, they had their pattern of their clothing burnt onto them like a tattoo. As we sent in doctors to help, they found out there was something else that affected them: radiation poisoning. A hazardous fog covered Japan, as when it rained, it sent down radioactive material, poisoning the Japanese food and water supply. Some people imagine that nuclear war will mean instant and painless death, but for millions this will not be the case. The accounts of the injured at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the doctors who tried to tend to them, witnessed to the horrors and torments which would be magnified thousands of times over the kinds of attack we analyze here. This is a good quote because many Americans thought that atomic warfare would be painless, instant death. But as they soon realized, it would be a long, agonizing death for some Japanese who had cancer caused due to the radiation of the bombs. I'd like to end the speech by a simple quote that the Confederate General Robert E. Lee best put it. It is well that war is so terrible, otherwise we would grow too fond of it. Thank you.